Ryan Leaf showing up as we're talking about Cooper Kupp getting potentially traded. Ryan Leaf, good friend, man. How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
How are you?
Me and your daughter just chopping it up. You know we go way back, her and I.
You know, it's crazy you say that. I want to say freshman, sophomore year at Sam Houston State, you were doing a thing at Houston and hanging out.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long. I'm a girl dad now too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've come full circle here, and so I'll be probably coming to you for some advice here pretty soon. She's already got me wrapped around her little finger. So
it doesn't change. You know, the word no doesn't really exist.
She's learning the word no, though.
Yeah. She's not really.
She hears me say no, and she's like,
"What?"
Yeah.
I mean, that might come from mom, but not dad.
No, dad wouldn't do that.
Dad's just kidding. He's playing. Yeah, that's for sure. You sat down. We got to ask you. We're just talking about Cooper Kupp. And, the Rams are talking about, putting him on the market. I'm saying Dallas might be a good spot for him.
Well, I mean, I think every team out there, if you looked around and saw Cooper Kupp at a discounted rate, I would suspect every team would think that. The reason why Los Angeles is doing this is because of the money factor. In terms of it's an analytical game, and you have to put up side by side the amount of money you're paying him and the contribution. Puka Nacua has really become the number one guy there after the injuries, after the Super Bowl with Cooper Kupp. And so that's the reason why he's not being let go because he's not still a great player. He's being let go because it's not commensurate with what he's being paid. Now, if LA could do something and try to convince him to renegotiate his contract, but if you're Cooper, you just go, I can't do that. I can't set that precedent. I want to play, but you paid me the contract,
Look, $7.5 million roster bonus, $12.5 million salary for next year for a guy that's missed 18 games in the last 3 years. He's 31. Clearly the Rams aren't getting the value of it. And, as a Cowboy fan, I'd love to have Cooper Kupp from 4 or 5 years ago, but this Cooper Kupp, I don't think so. I mean, depending on what I'm giving up draft wise, but there might be other options that maybe didn't help your fantasy team as much as Cooper Kupp did 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
But that's why, GMs get paid what they do.
I think it'd be so impactful for the young guys but I mean, it's going to have to be in terms of what you're giving up and what you're paying him. It's just, that's what it is. It's so he can't go into it thinking that he's deserved of wide receiver one money. This would be, but I think he would be, and what he was able to do for and with Puka Nacua over the last 2 years is unbelievable. If you went and asked Puka Nacua anything about Cooper Kupp, he would tell him it's the only reason I'm where I'm at right now, because he learned from the best in the business, and then you add the knowledge and the physicality of what Puka Nacua brings to the table, then it's just a different problem, and it's crazy. And so that's tough for Matthew Stafford. It's tough for Sean McVay, but it just, you have to look at the number that he's being paid in comparison to what he's contributed, and it's not a viable thing when you are a money and numbers business.
The NFL can be a cruel business, can it? When it comes to that, it really can.
It can. I mean, it's Cooper Kupp has shown that he's smarter and understanding of scheme and offense and can do what he can do. What sucks about it is like, what has made this ultimately become defunct is that he was so good that he got this huge deal, and then he's been dealing with injuries for the last 3 years, so he hasn't got to get a chance to live up to those expectations, and now he's got to pay the price for it because he wasn't able to do it. Maybe if he wasn't as good, if he was just kind of run of the mill and he's the middle line of it, didn't get as many opportunities, didn't get hurt, and he's still they're like, man, he's perfect for what we do. He doesn't make too much, and he contributes like crazy. That's the way it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf joining us here on the Blitz on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Everybody knows your story by now. We've talked about it on this show a bunch, but dude, your broadcasting career is just blowing up.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Apparently I'm articulate sometimes.
You got that voice too. It's good.
I got a face for radio. Is that how it works?
That's what they tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, stop.
You know what? It's an art form. I mean, it is. There's guys that, you've seen the greatest football mind of all time, and Tom Brady kind of really struggled with it this year, and I feel like he's getting better. But don't get me wrong. Like you got to learn. this is something that you have to have the 10,000 hours part of it, and luckily for me, I've just kept at it. Guys have given me opportunities, and then when I go into the game, I'm prepared, but I also go into it with the mindset of I'm sitting on the couch with my dad calling a football game. Plain and simple. That's all it is. So when I'm in a studio on Good Morning Football and we're talking ball, like there's nothing emotional about it. I'm not being critical of the person. I'm being critical of the decision that was made and analyzing the football of it all. And regardless of what you think of me as a NFL football player, I know more about the game of football than most people will ever in their life, and so I can analyze it well. I couldn't play it as well in real time like that. That's the difference, and there's a very few amount of people that can do that. I mean, heck, there's 370 Pro Football Hall of Famers ever. So I find it funny when people are like, "Why should this guy be the analyst on this?" And I'm like, "Because I was one of the best to ever do this, bro." So let's check ourselves here a little bit about what mom's meatloaf tastes like in your basement tomorrow. So it is what it is. I love getting what I get to do. I will say the sports broadcasting world's a little kind of, there's some really not great people out there in that world. And so I've been kind of moving a little bit away from it. I've been starting to do some things differently, more purposeful. I'm now the host of the Last Mile Radio, where we go into prisons and we talk about the program and the educational programming that we're giving to those individuals in there and for when they get out. I was just in San Quentin 2 weeks ago, which is crazy. We're telling their stories. We're telling the stories of other people that have a remarkable knowledge and information around having been justice impacted and found their path and have changed other people's lives because of it. And it's on Sirius XM on Saturdays and Sundays, and on Triumph and Urban View. And it's just been, that's the purposeful part of it, right? Because bottom line, I appreciate you saying that, but if the broadcasting thing went away, who cares? We lose everything, and we'll be just fine. We got each other, and the three of us are the only thing that's really, really important. So.
Well, that's awesome, but I find that you took the step into broadcasting sports, and then you're finding other things to do with that.
Yep.
And that's typical in this business, right? I mean, doors open up all the time, but you talk about, obviously, a hell of a lot about football, but a hell of a lot about second chances and getting guys back up on their feet.
Yeah, man, I got more life experience than a 48-year-old ever should probably, but it served me well. It's the last 10 years have been incredible. What this life has given me because of a choice to make it about other people. That's amazing. As a narcissist, and most quarterbacks, don't get us wrong, right? Most quarterbacks are narcissists. That's just the way it goes. Everything's usually about you. But I always used to think that to make my life better, everything had to be about me. What I was getting out of the deal, what you were doing for me, and clearly, and that just doesn't work. That's not how it works. What works is when you make it about somebody else, your life gets better. And that's not something that I thought was real, and it's real. And if anybody's ever followed my story or seen it, what these last 10 years have exhibited and shown is that's exactly it. I've never made it about myself again. Like, it is about, I make it about other people all the time. What that really does well for me too is it removes me from the equation. Like, if I'm having a bad day, or I think somebody's, I feel like I'm the victim in some way, shape, or form. I go, get out of yourself, man. Go help somebody else. This isn't a you problem. This is a different scenario. So that's the best kind of information I can give people on when they want to get out of themselves, or they feel like people are out to get them, or it's not fair, or something like that.
Ryan Leaf joining us here on the Blitz Radio Row in New Orleans, getting ready for Kansas City, Philadelphia. Analytically, because Cowboy fan, man, I go Chiefs, right? Because an NFC.
Both these quarterbacks have been born, raised, played a little football in Pop Warner.
Here we go.
Went to college.
Here we go.
And are now playing in a championship game. In their lifespan, the Cowboys have never done anything. No one knows. Like if you ask Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts about the Cowboys, they'd go, "Huh?"
And they're both Texas kids.
I know, huh?
Yeah.
I've never seen them play for a championship, let alone Win one? What are you talking about?
That's on VHS.
Yep.
Well, they may know that Troy Aikman guy just because he's a broadcaster now, right?
Yeah, but I don't think they know that Troy won anything.
No, it's crazy. Who's going to win on Sunday?
I just think it's inevitable. It's the Chiefs are going to go and get their third. Well, listen to this. Okay, so the way that Philly wins is they blow them out. That's the only way. 31-10. Craig Gass. And so that's my boy. And I think that they do what Tampa did to them. And that was Kansas City didn't show up. In that, I mean, Kansas City didn't show up with any old linemen. They didn't have anybody healthy. That's the only way they do it. So I think it's a high scoring, good football game once again. I don't think Philly does anything to lose it necessarily. I think that Kansas City just gets into a one possession game, has the ball last, whether they kick it to win it or they hold it to get a first down to end it. Doesn't matter. We're going Kansas City 31, Philadelphia 28.
Ryan Leaf, Believe NFL analyst in your new show, The Last Mile Radio, all on the Believe Network, huh?
Well, that and SiriusXM, yeah.
And SiriusXM and CW doing Pac-12, Wazoo, all that good stuff. Ryan, good seeing you, man.
Nice.
Good to see you guys. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Ryan Leaf here on Radio Row in New Orleans.